One of the big things that Google has done in the last couple of days is to tighten up their security measures, especially when it comes to things like Google Meet. There were many complaints, not only in Schenectady, but basically around the nation, is that teachers were using Google Meet links in order to keep in touch with their classes. But then after the meeting was over, the Meet link was staying live and students were able to start or to basically restart up a meeting after the teacher had already left. And it goes without saying that they were doing some things that were not necessarily school appropriate. So one of the couple things that they've done is they've taken away that by using meeting nicknames, and by also we've eliminated the ability for students to start or restart a meeting. So from my end, and you've probably seen this before, is that this is Google Meet. I'm signed in as a teacher, and right here I have the ability to join or start a meeting. So what I'm going to do is, right here, a lot of people have been using something like either Classroom or something like Test. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to keep up with something that's a little bit more creative and personal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Sheridan Oneida MS, Oneida Middle School. And I will click on continue. So now I've just created the meeting, but I've also, more importantly, I've given the meeting a nickname. And that's going to be really important because meeting participants can't rejoin a nicknamed meeting once the teacher or the final person has left. So if the teacher is the last person in the room, students can't join until a teacher restarts this up. So as you can see, people would come in here. I've got my grid view. I've got everything else going on. I've also given it this Sheridan Oneida MS nickname. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang this up. I am going to log in now as a student and kind of show you a couple of the differences here. About what it looks like, the differences from a student end. So I'm going to go to Google Meet. As soon as you see when you log in, as opposed to mine, where I have join or start a meeting, a student is now going to only see use a meeting code. And that's either going to be that 10-digit button number after the URL or the nickname we just gave it. So what I'm going to do is, as this student, maybe he's one of my students and he was using the Sheridan Oneida MS class code, and he's going to hit continue. And you can see now at the bottom, it says you are not allowed to start a meeting. So that's going to be a new security feature because the meeting is not going on right now, and it's not going to allow the students to do that. Now, if they use the URL, it would be the same thing. One of the newer things that they've also done, as many people have seen it today, today's Friday, is when they logged into their Google Classroom, they saw a black bar that went across the top right below this menu, and it said that Google Meet is now integrated right in Google Classroom. And it's actually a really, really cool feature to be able to assign a different Meet code for all of your classes. Now, if you already got rid of that and you want to go back to it, you're going to hit the little cog, and you're going to come down here to General, and you're going to see that Meet, it says Classroom now supports Meet. And you can see that right here, it's going to put this link right on your Google Classroom. Now, the cool thing about this is that it's automatically going to nickname the Meet that it's going to use for your Google Classroom. Because as we just saw, that's going to be really, really important because once the final person is left, that meeting is not live anymore. So if you know that you're going to have a meeting every day with your students at 11 o'clock, what it's going to do is it's going to give this Meet link is where you're going to go. And you can see it looks a little bit different, but it's going to look up the nickname, not necessarily the meeting URL. So if I click on that, it is going to get my meeting started, just like I normally do. And the nickname is going to be a random kind of mishmash as ATICHGPMC code that we're going to use for the classroom. And so it's obviously something that's very unique, probably not guessable. And if I was to join now, it's going to look like I did in the other demo just a second ago. I'm still going to get the little screen that's going to pop up. It's going to give me Now, the same thing happens here with that URL. If I wanted to share that with other people, I can give them this URL, but I really want to start getting into this nickname, or even easier, to just use the link that's in Google Classroom. So a couple neat features that are going to prevent students from getting into things that they really shouldn't be, into kind of keeping the respect level and the digital citizenship level up high. I hope that helps. Thank you.